WordPress cracking down on the use of the WP. So if you're, Yoast is one plugin that doesn't use WP, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if there is a plugin out there called WP SEO. The biggest one that comes to mind is WP Rocket, which is a caching plugin that is quite mainstream. And essentially, people have found that when they push a new plugin, a new WordPress plugin with the WP in their name and slug, they're getting rejected, or they were getting rejected. This guy, Joe Youngblood, which is such a cool name.
What a name.
I just have to mention that. On Friday the 13th, so less than a week ago, was horrified. I mean, horrified is, I think, a bit too dramatic for this instance, but it was just...
Can I just say that whole sentence, Joe Youngblood had an unpleasant surprise on Friday the 13th and was horrified. That's a lot.
It's very dramatic, and I'm not saying it's necessarily... I mean, this is from a website called Koi Wolf, so koiwolf.news. Maybe
really leaning into the spooky stuff, aren't they?
Oh, and quite... I mean, I'm going to say it's a bit sensationalist, but... this is more interesting, again, talking about Yoast in the past, or just a few minutes ago, because, so WP essentially is a trademark of Automatic, which is the company founded by Matt Mullenweg, the guy who created WordPress. WordPress has WordPress.com and WordPress.org. We've written heaps of articles about it, and talked about it and gone on about it in the past. But essentially, WordPress.com is a company, is a for-profit company, and then WordPress.org is a open source project. I've always felt weird because they've owned they've had a restriction on the use of I think it's the use of the name or the word WordPress has been somewhat controlled, especially on domain names. I think they've had it trademarked for a while, and now the same thing's happening with WP. So this, again, is just to keep you WordPress developers and builders and people who have WordPress sites on notice a little bit, just to say there's some interesting things happening. Automatic has bought, WooCommerce, and again, there's a bit of consolidation happening here that might not necessarily be a good thing, is what I'm saying. I think when there's an open source service, platform that is so significant, so big, such a, like WordPress is, when for-profit companies get involved, they have to be for-profit, and they have a certain set of priorities. And this might seem small, but why? Like, I don't know. Why do you need to lock down the use of the term WP, like the two letters WP?
Yeah, I was just trying to think through that, because I can sort of see two sides. One side, you've got WP and all these developers using WP, and people recognize WP as WordPress. So that's just like free advertising, really. On the other hand, you've got all these rogue people using your sort of brand, and then it's like you don't have that control over your brand as WP. So it sounds like they're really just trying to gain control of their brand, given they're so large now. Maybe previously they didn't feel like they should be doing that because they were, still building or something. They've been a massive company for quite a while, but maybe now they've just gone, all right, let's take control of our brand and stop other people using it as WP or whatever form.
But potentially, I just looked it up, Charitable. So we interviewed one of the co-founders of Charitable, and their domain is wpcharitable.com, I believe. .com. So, they've been using WP for a long time. I don't know what you would find if you go to charitable.com without the WP, but if they were to really start enforcing it, I just think it's not quite fair is the wrong word, but I think it's it's a bit aggressive. Are
they stopping people that already have WP, or is it just new registers?
Looking through it, so they've broken down some of the things that we're aware of, when it comes to this WP. What they're saying is that 3 months ago, the WordPress Foundation requested that the volunteer team block plugins from using the term WP at the start of their name. The WordPress Foundation itself don't have any legal rights to the term WP, only WordPress, because WP is owned as a trademark in a few other industries. And then, despite that, the plugin teams started blocking plugins using WP. So that includes plugins also that, like WP Mail SMTP, because it starts with WP, which is again a plugin that we've used a fair bit. And then apparently there are various legal teams hashing it out. So it's not necessarily that they've got the trademark yet, but potentially they're trying to get it. In 2010, Matt Mullenweg established the WordPress Foundation and then took ownership of the trademark WordPress, and then people just stopped using the word WordPress in the URL. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem to be clear yet. I don't think anyone's actually come out and said, okay, you can't use it, but it's sort of like it hasn't passed as a law at a high level, but then for all intents and purposes, it's being blocked, because if the plugin team, if you can't push a plugin with WP in it, you might as well not be able to, it might as well just be a rule, right?
Yeah,
there's no point. Yeah, it's interesting, and it mentions here that the WordPress Foundation holds the WordPress trademark, not Automatic. So, yeah, again, a bit messy, because the WordPress Foundation is a not-for-profit organization. Automatic is a for-profit company that, wants to make money. Automatic, I think, potentially, I might be wrong, but I'm fairly sure Automatic even owns Tumblr. So, they're very much a real company.
Who bought Tumblr? Am I just really behind on that?
Yeah, it's been sold. Yeah,
Okay.
I can confirm.
I kind of forgot Tumblr existed, to be honest, because I don't know who really uses it anymore.
No, a lot of people have forgotten about it. And Automatic also owns Longreads, which is a storytelling platform that I know had some popularity, at least at one point. So, this is funny. I'm just looking at the Automatic site. Let me share that in this tab. Funny enough, there's WP Job Manager, which is probably a WordPress. Yeah, there you go, a WordPress plugin that is owned by Automatic. So I wonder if we're going to see that change moving forward as well, because you would assume that you want to have a consistent ruling across everything for everyone. So I think that's a little funny though.